So greetings, ladies and gentle players. Welcome back to my real board once again. We are going over a pro game today. I haven't done so in a while, and even though it is not my most wildly popular series, I do like going over games on a real board. So, going over a game between Otake Hideo and Miura Taro. Interesting game this is. Because you know me, I love looking at games between players with, let's just say, a bit of a rank discrepancy. Yeah. 9p versus 1p. You can't get much more of a rank discrepancy than that. However, given that I did recently hit 8 done on Fox, I would not be interrupting our originally scheduled programming just to bring you some 1p getting his butt smashed, right? As fun as that would be, no, this game is actually interesting. Because this player, despite being a professional 1-dan, with how many games? 10 games to his name on Go for Go, despite only having 10 games, he's kind of interesting. He's kind of got an interesting style. And I think you're going to find it interesting as well. And I would think the 9-dan's taken a little bit of surprise by it. But I mean, he is 9-dan, so you know how it go. You know how it goes. But I'm sure he got taken by surprise too. And the game will have me looking at this guy's career a little bit more. Let's see if you can spot why. Start off with a lovely slap-happy 4-4 point in the upper right-hand corner of the board. Oh, good old Otake takes a steady look at his opponents. He is a 1-dan, he is. I will invite him to play anything if he wants to go cross. He can cross. If he does not want to go cross, that is fine too. 3-4. Alright. Not really sure how the game's gonna go with the 3-4. It's hard to say. Could go territory, could go influence. I think 4-4-3-4 is one of the most balanced openings you can have for yourself nowadays. This move is telling. To me, it's telling. Maybe it's not telling to you. To me, it's telling. What this move says to me is good old Otake is looking to get into a fight. Why is that, you might say? Isn't it a little presumptuous to assume that based on just one cornerstone? Not really. Because if black approaches, as I'm sure you know, and we just play a normal, relaxed opening... Oops, there we go. And we just play like a normal, relaxed opening, black gets to like build and expand off a cornerstone, while white just kind of takes territory. It's kind of really awkward, because it's a wee bit slow. Conversely, if we look at that same position and we decide, and I'm sure you've known this, I've gone over this a lot of times before, and we just like pincer. Suddenly we're on the third line, so we're picking up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Not a lot of points, really, to be honest. Not a lot of points. And then after you get your, not a lot of points, you're then going to get attacked across, like, the entire bottom of the board. These are playable positions, mind you. They are playable positions. But you really have to know what you're doing with these positions, because there's, like, a lot of ways that you can take a wrong turn and crash and burn, you know? So, we're probably not going to see that. If we see an approach, let's say, like this one, as played in actual game, we expect one of two things to happen. One, play away, and approach, or 3-3 or something. Or in the case of this little guy, we can play a move that will hopefully give us Sensei without helping the position on the bottom too much. Otake does back off. A little bit rare, but, you know, he's got Komi. And interestingly enough, instead of just getting a base, which would be... So, interestingly enough, Black is actively picking a fight here. Rather than defend, he's like, I'm gonna go kill me a fool. Okay. He wants to fight. Right there, alone, we can respect this opponent, because he's against a professional 9-dan. And he's like, you know what? I should be aggressive and fight. Okay. Fair play to you, good sir. Otake takes a very traditional approach to this, and he pincers this extension from this Kosumi. Very, very nice. You can get back in here and still do damage and reduce and things like that. But here's the problem. That would be a very, very tight position to kind of launch yourself into. And this is easy to build off of because this is so far away. With like a simple lean here in the future, you can like lean, get a wall to work with that stone. So, okay. Black goes ahead and leans on white. Very straightforward variation. We do not play twice. Extend. And
One moment. My voice is dying.
Alright, so push, extend. And then Otake decides to go and do a 1-point jump. I will point out, this is also very popular nowadays to make the attachment by Black here later on a little bit less severe. So alright, we have this. Instead, traditional, very traditional opening from white. Not so traditional opening from Black. We have the two-space enclosure. Two-space enclosure allows us to either play for influence or take a lot of territory. It is the only enclosure people really play nowadays. We still see a little bit of large knighty action, but it allows for this textbook response, where you're just going to go ahead and create an absolute god-awful mess for everyone that just keeps spilling all over the place. And it's not a lot. It's not a very fun Joseki. It's easy to reduce the larger knight is once you know this, because you can play this attachment like almost whenever you feel like. So that we played here, which is a-okay. This still has reductions, of course. It's not secure. In fact, in terms of reductions, you can pretty much play here almost flat out and live. Or you can sometimes play things like... I don't want to say in here. Some cases you can. But the approach here is very common because after the approach, you've got the attachment. Or just going underneath. A lot of Aji in that position. White. Playing nice and traditionally. Right? Nice and traditionally. I like this move. I can get behind it. Very, very traditional move. We are applying pressure to the 1 stone while preventing our opponent from taking like a huge extension. Black could be a little bit greedy here because of this little guy. It acts as a base and an extension So it does two things at once, which is amazing. So very, very important to go ahead and do that. Take that for yourself. This is what we refer to both as a big and an urgent move. Because you might be saying to yourself, but what about corners? Like, you're supposed to do corner, then side, then center, right? And then there's obviously an open corner here with the 4/4 point. Why not approach? Because blocking an extension, like, it blocks the extension, so that has one value. It blocks the base, it has two value. It's all we need for an opening. Doing two things at once. Black chooses to settle. Now this is where the game goes insane. If we had to predict, and I'm asking you so you do, how this game is going to proceed, how would you imagine this game's going to proceed, chat? Based on the stones we see here, how can we expect the game to proceed? What is white going to do? What is black going to do? What do you think? Black will play stones and white will play stones. Very true. I'd guess black to build the right, white to reduce, invade, and go from there. Donkey Klonk is trying to meta me. Okay. White will build center. Exactly. That is yeah. That is exactly what I expect. I expect right now white to build because we've got influence going on here. We're using it. We'll get Sensei out of here because this is going to end in Gote. There's no way on this planet that fracking thing ends in Sensei. Right? If that thing ended in Sensei, uninstall. Just uninstall. You guys are on the right track. So we have black respond because this drop down would be Bay. White responds. Black lives. Now Qs, this is for Qs. We are not responding here. If our opponent wants to play this, he's allowed to. It's very small right now. Because you can imagine, let's say we play a move elsewhere. Where? I don't even care where. Who cares? We approach. And our opponent plays here. So we get approach x2. That means all of black's territory right now is like in here and this invadable thing here. That seems fair. The influence, we still have it, you know? We can still do things over here later. White hasn't had his influence mysteriously vanish just because of a 1-point jump on second line, right? So yeah, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Now white does poke, poke, poke. Which I thought was weird AF. But I'm also, admittedly, not a 9p. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Obviously, black plays the Hane. And white responds. But then the game gets crazy. Because here's the thing. Here's what we could do but are not going to. We could, as black, play the Atari, connect, fix, and then get attacked. We could do that, but as you can no doubt imagine, this position is not happy for black. It's solid, but it's slow, which is a problem. This isn't going to die, but this is growing really, really quickly. Like, nom, 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 nom. And if this keeps trying to run away, it's going to go nom, 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 nom. And just kind of follow it, right? So we're not doing that. And instead, after the Hane into the block, Black says, I can't let this grow, therefore, I have influence, so I'm going to attack, ? Admittedly, it's not as crazy as it looks at first blush. You do have moves like this. Threatening to go under, threatening to go through. There is Aji for this one stone. You know? 9p. Very simple, very steady move. Understanding that he does not want to leave Aji behind in his position. A lot of times you might be looking at a pro game, especially from a stronger professional, and they'll play some moves that just look kind of slow. You'll be like, man, if I played that slow, I'd never win a single game. Never in my life. But the thing is, they understand the strength of playing this rather than, playing fast or leaving Aji for your opponent to just kind of poke at you. Unfortunately, you have to be very, very good at, poking Aji to play this way. Black follows up. White calmly turns. Just settling his position. Can get territory over here still. Everything's good. Everything's good. I like White's calm play. I love White's calm play. I do think it's a little bit slow, but you can't deny that it's solid. Can't Black cut at E16? That's very dangerous right now. Very dangerous. We can picture the cut. But here's the thing. The turn here makes these stones very, very strong because you've got, the ability to make eyes here or extend still. So the question really becomes... let's see what's a better way to do this. You could theoretically just full on Atari here and then aim for the cut. It looks awkward, right? You could go straight for the cut. This is the Aji I was referring to. This stone, and this stone aren't connected right now. But this is a pretty solid shape, and this can look after itself. So that's what I was referring to about the whole bad Aji thing. If you try to attack from that large knight, your shape ain't gonna be thanking you. Because you're attacking from a very sus shape. There. Okay. So, Black is leaning to make the shape no longer sus. We're trying to strengthen it, right? Also, we're kind of attacking the white stones. But the white stones live pretty much instantly. This is actual game, by the way. But the unfortunate thing about the stones living and possibly connecting later is those are low stones. And this next part is what makes Black impressive, even for a 1-dan. You can kind of see maybe some future strength in this dude's play, as long as he doesn't get scared off from playing this way. My opponent goes low, I'll go high. Right? Easy. Putting pressure. But we're alive here. Now you can see a very different story than the one that we had here previously. a moment ago, we looked at this and the pincer and thought, okay, white's going to build, black's going to have to reduce it because white's got the influence. Now, different story. Trying to use these stones lightly to attack has suddenly given black the influence that white has to reduce. When I saw this, I'm suddenly intrigued. It's like, okay, there's some bold stuff happening here with this professional one-dan. 10 pro games to his name. 10. And he's not going to just like play calm and, you know, scared and territorial and just be solid. He's going to be bold and like, you know what? I'm taking the whole friggin' corner. Or the center. The other C word. So, okay. Now white has to figure out how to reduce this little 1p that's trying to expand all across all the things. Right? Suddenly, we've got an exciting game on our hands. It's alright. As white, for reduction, we want to do a couple of things. G18 is doing a couple of things. Let's see. So this, as you can see from here and here, he's actually playing very territorial. Right? White has later is Sensei here because the corner's not alive after that. We have to make sure that we're fixed here. We also can't do anything silly like jump because the push and clamp is going to be Sensei because, again, if this can't go anywhere, this has to go back and live. If we can't push here for like extra eye shape, we have to be very, very careful here. We'll see more in detail about that later on in the game. But yeah, it's good endgame. It's keeping this very, very tiny and small. And it's giving us forcing moves later. Also, it's doing this. Remember that cut we were referring to earlier? With the cut? It's also doing this, because we can't go here into here. Because after we protect, we go here and we lose the 3 stones. So there's a lot of reasons behind G18. It's a bit of a tricksy little move. So we've got big endgame points. Gets us forcing moves later. Protecting the cut. So it's actually doing like 3 different things. Maybe a 4th that I'm missing. But at least 3 different things here on this board. White's playing traditionally. And splits. White grabs a large, or black grabs a large knight. 2 space extension for Zevat Blair. And then continue going after dat middle. He is establishing him as an interesting, influential player. And what excites me about this is Shibano first established him in the pro scene the exact same way. He played like this crazy center opening against professional 9-dans in his country. And he just got stronger from there until now he is like the strongest player in country. Good old Shibano Torimaru is. Right? So now I'm seeing black trying kind of the same path, being bold, going after a lot, not backing down from the 9p. And it makes me wonder more and more what this guy's career is going to be like. You know? Meanwhile, white is still being very, very standard. Expanding, approaching the corner. And black's like, you keep playing your moves, I'll keep playing mine. A little bit of a game of chicken going on here, seeing how long we're going to ignore each other. Admittedly, this corner is getting kind of messed. And still, black's just like, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep you low. It's like, what? Now, white has had enough of this guy's shenanigans. He could play here, but that's getting kind of out of control. But alright, so he's trying to keep the 9p low. The 9p says, I can't back off here anymore. So he extends up. And... Black also extends up, because, I mean, if he gets a chance to go back and cut through here, and isolate the entire top, that'd be amazing. Which is why... Turns. It's like, alright. There are points. Read them and weep. Got a little bit in the corner. Some over here, but it's mostly nom 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 nom. That's what he's going on. In this day and age where everyone's just salivating over corners and little bits of territory, this dude is going nuts for the middle. And obviously, white has to reduce it or resign. Don't even have to count to know that, right? Like, I mean, this is 10, 11th line. We can't just give all of that away. So, okay. Now, choosing where to invade is tough, especially when there's not a whole lot of Aji, but there's a little. The only one real source of Aji we have is where, chat? Because, yeah, usually when we invade, we don't want to just drop a stone in the middle of nowhere in Gote, you know? Ooh, good old Tom Carthy says upper left. I think you might be looking at what is going on, yeah. The only Aji you actually have is that a small knight can be cut. Short of that, you ain't got much. So, we plop a stone down. Solidly defends. I like. I'm not seeing overplaying. So, not seeing black hoping to get lucky. So, okay. White knows he's never been in more danger than he is right now. He's utterly surrounded, and he knows he can't flee. He's the Aji of this. He got a response. Good enough. Time to get out of here. Can a 2 space be cut? Yeah, probably. But 1 space will just get us killed. We have to play fast. We've got to get out of here. Because even with this, still completely surrounded. Isn't this crazy? A 1p versus a 9p game. But can you tell? Can you really tell who is who? White's looking for shape, as you can see. And now here's the thing. There are so many things I like about Black's play. It's tempting to go all in and try to fight this right now. It's so tempting. Tempting. But while this is going on, Black is solidifying himself. He's not being hopeful. He's not going in like an all or nothing, live or die kind of scenario. He's like, okay, you invaded me. I'm taking points. You're trying to solidify. I'm getting rid of my bad Aji and threatening more points. So his attack is being for profit right now. This is actually kind of important. If Black gets this isn't alive locally anymore. So alright, since he's strengthened this in Sensei, poke. Obvious connect is obvious. And surround. This is like many amateur games. White got some minor territory, let black get a huge center, throw his stone, and challenge back to. It is, but I think you're gonna see that has a happier ending than you think, Miranda. And it's also one of the reasons why I picked it for today's game. A lot of people can like relate to what's going on here. Going for that shapies. Chasing, making sure that this isn't going to be a white stone. Because this or this makes for even better shape for white. It's alright. Got that. Now, one sad fact of life is a group that knows the only thing it has to do is live will generally live. So this is alive. How we don't know, but it's alive. Tries to connect. Making some more points and disconnecting still. Threatening. Get an extra point for ourselves. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Love to see it. Atari. Okay. Disconnected. Still has to live. Looks like we're kind of living. But by living here, notice that we are solidifying everything else, and black is slowly picking up more territory. This is a nice textbook way to properly attack something, not to kill it. I mean, granted, if white like plays away from here right now and plays down here or something, yeah, we're gonna push through and kill it. But we are solidifying and taking points while we're attacking. Trying to get eye shapies, threatening the cuts, all that good stuff. White is denied. No cutty cutties. Then black is denied. Push, push, push. And then block, block, block. Not with a black stone. There we go. Now here, there's a lull in the fighting. Because black has Sensei. So he wants to keep playing bigger moves. There are a few. There are certainly a few. A little bit hard to spot. I would have been thinking playing back here would be kind of on the list of super important things to do. But it is Gote, so we really don't want to get wrapped up in trying to defend points down here. There won't be very many, because giving away Sensei to defend them is just too small. Cutting this group off, which if defended here, might kill the 3, much larger than the defense over here. Right? So we play here. White defends stone and Sensei, which is really, really nice. And then move to connect up. But there's a lot of Aji there. So white says, or black says, how does that connect? White says, by going over top of you. So takes. First capture of the game. Connects back. Atari. Connect. Threaten to cut through and kill off 2 stones would be a very, very big. So we connect that too. Now we turn. We get blocked. 2 eyes acquired. White drops down. And 2 eyes acquired. I bumped a stone, sorry. Bumped a stone with my sleeve, sorry. That happens. I usually make a note to wear short sleeves, but I never remember to. And yeah, occasionally when you reach over, something gets, like, hit. So, alright. All that was very fine. Now, remember we started this position with white threatening to connect underneath, and, like, take all this for points for himself. Right? Now, we don't know if it's worth any points. Literally, we don't know if there's a single point made in all of this, which is what makes this sequence huge. Because, I mean, there's even a clamp here still. You know? To connect or go under. There could literally be 0 points made here. Oh, also, we need to not be dead. There's also that to consider. Come through here, kill the 3, that'd be big. So we have table shape. Nicely defended. Tabley Wables. White connects. Black disconnects from center group. Pushing on through. All of this is threatening to kill the white group. What's going on right now? Keep in mind, this is white defending himself versus the professional Wondon, who is a breath away from murdering his face. Right? Peyton, you missed the beginning of this game. Feel ashamed of yourself. You need to, like, look up the game or watch the VOD or something, because you'll like black a lot. Like, a lot. White cut, still looking for life. Backing off, keeping things separated from the middle group. Double Atari. And save. And connect. And now we're alive, because we can get 2 eye here, or make sure we have the eye over here. So we've got 2 ways to do it. So, cool. We're done there. This managed to live. With, 2, maybe 3 points. Maybe a few more. Hard to say. Black will get more here than had over here. There's some cool endgame with things like the throw-in they might be able to do. Throw-in to an extend back. Keeping this corner at like 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 9 points. So if that's like 9 and 3 or 4 and I don't even know and White is having a bit of a rough game. Not a lot of points to be had this game for good old White. Meanwhile, remember, Black has this area pretty solid. Granted, this is small. The middle's still growable. Huge question mark in the bottom right, though. Huge question mark in the bottom right. And then one of the reasons why we got here is because this connection that was threatened vanished and became a liability for White having to just live with pretty much just 2 eyes. If Black hadn't contested this, and White just connected over normally, it would have been like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 points here maybe for White instead of what you see here now. So that was actually a big contest. Black has Sensei because this was White's last move. And invades. Obviously, this is the next large source of territory for White. Diagonal, because diagonal prevents underneath. Everyone knows next move. What is it? Textbook. What is it? Shoulder hit. Exactly. Exactly. Easy way to come out. We don't really push because then there's a Hane. And then what are we going to do? Hane back. Then we might get cut, or there's like a lot of really bad Aji there. So cool. But yeah, you are right. This move, it turned into like a really good one. It's like perfect shape for what's going on in here. White's like, I'm going to surround your entire corner and eat your soul. Black's like, that's too slow, Gramps. I'm just going to settle now. So White says, then I will pick you apart. Black's like, I don't care. I'm attacking you. Defend yourself, old man. Like, it just does not care. He gets attacked, and he's just like, I'm attacking someone else. It's like, I'm just gonna attack something else. Like, you can't tell me. You cannot tell me this guy is staying 1P. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Like, he's putting stupid amounts of pressure on the 9-Dan. So, alright. 9-Dan now needs to defend himself again. And that's rough. Let's be clear. This group, completely surrounded, had to make 2 eyes to live. This group, completely surrounded, has to make 2 eyes to live. This group, it looks like it's getting completely surrounded, and kinda sorta has to make 2 eyes to live. I mean, dude, the guy's awesome. The guy is awesome. Unfortunately, we don't know if this is going to be a fluke or not. There are a lot of pros that have a one-off, a really, really strong one-off game. The big question will be if he can repeat this against other players. You know? It's alright, drops down. Attacks. The life and death here is awesome, because that is not what I would have expected the answer to how not to die to be. Attack. More on why that is in a minute. They'll go through this position. Extends on out. Don't want to get surrounded. Otake is not terrible. He's got over 50% win ratio. He's not in the high 60s and 70s like some pros. He is an older professional, to be sure. But he is still a 9-Dan professional who is able to take out other 9-Dan professionals. You know? Doesn't win all of his games, I admit. But he doesn't just drop dead for no reason. Like some pros. Who I'm absolutely not naming. I'm absolutely not naming. In fact, I'm going to cut that out of the video. I don't even want to be asked that. Apparently 9Ps can't ladder. I mean, after Lee Sedol, who's brave enough to ladder, you know? What about the brain? Alright, so Black extends. And White has got to be convinced he's got a kill on his opponent. He's like, alright, I got you, right? You're dead, right? Come on, you're dead, right? Huh? Just a minute, you're dead. You gotta be dead. You're dead, right? You gotta be dead. Life and death time. Black to not lose this game. Life and death time. Black to not lose the game. Any ideas? Where my readers at? I don't know. I'd be dead here. Tanuki? Nope. I'll just say I'd be dead here. C17? First, we go after the cut. This gives us le agi. And then we knock stones around. It's alright. This is the first obvious step that everyone should be able to get. Because if you Atari, we're alive. Which means, if we're going to try to kill, this is the forced variation. Someone just got really sad. Someone's going to be sad now. Only question at this point is, who is it? Who's going to be the sad person? White says you're dead. Black says, am I really? White says, you've got to be dead. You've got to be dead. Black says, am I really? Atari's down. White has to follow. Black follows the follow. White Atari. Black take. And it looks like we're okay. You said black to not lose the game, so white is clearly dead. No. Black is clearly suffering here. Black has clearly suffered in this corner. He is clearly dead. Okay. But on the bright side, he does get outside captures later on. Or he gets to fully surround this later on, while white is capturing the inside. 4 libs versus 5 though. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll see it. Black is fine. Black is dead. More on this later. Sensei for white, or for black. Asking if this is alive. White says it's alive. Black says prove it. Atari. Oops, not for... There we go. And there, we have 2 eyes. For the most part, we've almost got 2 eyes. We could turn here to block the eye. But there's still outside stuff, so we don't really believe we can block 2. Black takes points. White takes his points. Reinforce. Pretty big move, too. If black gets this one, we can Atari down and save our stone. Put some pressure on the stone. On Izikonar. Have to make sure we're not dead. Going back and making the other eye. Now we've got me eye. Got ourselves me eye. Black simply says, my points. Solidly forms the eye. Can't let black play this move, because then white would probably be dead. That'd be kind of sad. This is time Suji. White blocks. This is still Time Suji. He's reading out whether or not he can play this move and have white be dead. That's the huge question. Can I play here, and will that kill this? Because it looks like if we can play here, we're going to get Atari, right? And then we're going to fix here, but that means we have to Atari, and then like there's an Atari here, right? So it's a little bit messy. You know? A little bit messy. We'd like to play this, but we can only do that if there's like we can somehow after we play here, we get Atari, we can play here, and then the cut, and not have that be an I. So it's a little tough life deposition. But they're reading things out. It extends up. So if any of these moves up top here don't make sense, you know why. Atari. So right now we're anticipating a take. We're anticipating a take. But the shape here has been completely fixed. So now white has to be absolutely certain black can't play this move. Because if black can play this move, he's dead. It's a bit of a crazy sequence. White says he needs eyes. Black says that is not one. Now he's got another eye. If we are careful, he should be able to get an eye. That's a flat capture on that stone. Make sure he's alive, which allows for the take. So a lot of reading going back and forth while they were playing a game of chicken. White has to connect. That stone is crooked AF. Trade still continuing? Uh-huh. Going after the remainder of the middle, which I really, really like. White plays the Hane. Got a cross cut here for maximum value. Let's make that a little bit more easier to read, shall we? There we go. Atari. Connects under. Now we have territory across the entire thing. I'm surprised white didn't take this, because it should have been Sensei against this, I would have thought. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but maybe I am. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Denied coming into the area. That is a Time Suji. At this point, they're definitely in Byayomi. Tari down. Forcing move. Another stone captured for black. Following up against stones on their left. That continues the capture race. Because of the capture race, nothing we can do here. Now we can go back and look at this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, but we've got the Atari in Sensei, right? Into either the Atari or here. It doesn't matter. We're fine either way. Did Batstick get the big smiley face? That is true. That's true. We did get 8 done on Wednesday. That is very, very true. So white remove or black removes their liberty. And white plays the Atari. That can't be filled. Sorry, we don't throw in. This is a case where we don't throw in. My bad. My bad, we don't throw in here. Because black can't connect. If black connects, we play here as Atari. And if he Ataris now, we take, which Ataris into a self Atari and then take. So yeah, white's fine, or yeah, white's fine. And thus you finally have the answer to the left-hand side. Connect, connect, end game, threaten to cut, into finally going back and playing here. First Blackstone capture of the game. Impressive middle still. Impressive middle that Black still got for himself. Throw-in would be throwing, yeah. Extend for the cut is pretty huge. So we go and connect that up, like so. Drop down to see what we're doing. Easy, that way there's no Aji here. But it does leave a little bit of force moves here. More endgame, like so. And then more endgame, like so. Getting rid of all the points there is pretty huge. That means that white's going to have to take this and only have the 3 points I mentioned previously. So that is actually big endgame. In Sensei, because white has take. Black's getting more points. Oops, sorry. More points. Into more points. Because of Tari. Nice defense. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 points out of that exchange. That's pretty good, all things considered. For a wraparound in the corner like that. That ain't bad. Especially in endgame. That's friggin' huge, dude. That's friggin' huge. So now, yeah, white can connect here and not have to take, but meh. Black's completely fine, so it's whatever. White cuts for endgame. Black says, no, you don't. You go back and take that since you didn't connect. White says, fine, I will. And then we go back in Atari. Atari in response. Go ahead and take. Threaten go through. Connects. And then we've got threaten to go through. Blocks the greater reduction. Because this is worth like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe 13, maybe 14, 15, 16. This is not a small middle. That is not a small middle at all. Because 15 points, that's like having another corner. That's like having corner territory for free, right? That ain't bad. Black connects because we're now threatening to kill white stones in the middle. Sorry. This stone's not here, it connects instead. Almost played twice. Almost played twice. I stopped myself. Almost did, but didn't. That goes back and connects. Things get messy. Now we drop down. There we go. Middle secured. And we continue with some endgame. Take the 1 stone, because those 3 are getting kind of big. And more Endgame. And Endgame. Endgame. Push. And block. Hane's big Endgame. Atari. And connect. And block. And block. And Atari. And block. And take. I forgot. Endgame went on this long, actually. Hold. Missed. Oh, right, black's turn. Yoink. The Atari there is actually not meaningless, because after the connection, we can take here for 2 points. Nicely done. And white finally resigns. White finally resigns. Black is not up by an astronomical amount. I actually forget completely what the actual number is. Holy crap, my brain's spaced. Oh my god, I had the information! I forgot what it was! Either way. Yeah, the middle, too much. Having to live here. Having to live here. Having to live here. Too many no, not here. Here. Eh? Yeah, having to live in those 3 spaces. Just let black take territory and more territory and more territory. This was a good endgame, so more territory. Making sure making sure white didn't go underneath here and connect, forcing just the 3 points. Also really, really big. So nice, so nice. So yeah, I'm very interested in this good old Taru guy. We will be following his career with much interest. Now, I don't want to say he's a god or anything, but I do want to point out, I mean, again, only 10, don't read too much into this, okay? But technically, he only has 10 games on Go for Go, but he has won 7 of them. So he did lose to Yoda Norimoto, but he's like one of the tippy top. So he can't take out people that high just yet. Right? But, oh, and he lost to Chochikun. He lost to an old master. Like, Yoda Norimoto and Chochikun, you can't feel bad losing to them, because they're like Poggy Woggy. But he did beat Rin Kaiho by 2 points. That's another Pro 9 Dan, for those of you who are unaware. And he did beat Otaka Hideo, another Pro 9 Dan, or as you obviously see. And he beat the snot out of, like, the 1 and 2 Dans that he's gone up against. So, yeah, I'm interested in this guy. I'm interested in him.